Well, we have finally done it.
Hello everyone, I'm DJ and welcome to DJ's Universe.
Today, we have a special announcement for all of you. My mission to acquire a Pokemon game from each generation was a success. From generations 1 all the way to generation 9, I have collected one, if not both, of those Pokemons released and plan to stream all of these games. Yes, all of them.
We got a lot of work to do.
Now, before we go into the breakdown of each game, please understand that the decisions I've made on the game choices in this lineup are a little bit biased. I have chosen some of my favorites. For Gen 1, I have selected Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I was thinking about choosing the original Pokemon Yellow, but let's be real for a moment. It's 2025. We are way past that graphical stage in our lives. I don't think anyone wants to see that. Will I still play it? Yes, maybe later. But right now for this, no. I would much rather see the cool animations that they have that I've missed out on because I have not played a Pokemon game since Generation 5. Well, if I'm being honest, I have played Brilliant Diamond, and I'm going to guess that some of the features I saw in there are going to be in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. I'm just using Let's Go Pikachu as like the base. You get me? Because I'm really only here for the story. Play through the gyms again, or I can't even say again. I don't know why I'm saying again. I've never played it in the first place. See how that experience was then. But I get it's probably going to be way harder when I play the original because Pokemon has seemed to get a lot more friendly. Up next, Generation 2. For this generation of Pokemon, I was thinking of going with Soul Silver again, but I'll be honest, I've played that game so many times that sadly I fall back onto my old strategies. Even when I try to do something different, I end up doing the same thing. So I chose to do something different, but not so different. Instead of Soul Silver, I'm going to be catching Ho-Oh and Heart Gold. This generation is what gave birth to my love for Pokemon, and it was so random too. One day I was watching my brother play Pokemon Heart Gold, then the next he was giving me Pokemon Soul Silver. I don't ask how. I still am kind of foggy on the memories myself, but yeah, I just remember him giving me that and I was like, oh, what is this? And he was like, it's the other one. I don't need it. I have this one. I feel like it's pretty cool. You got a DS, so here, take it. From then on, I've been addicted to Pokemon. He was not only showing me how to play, teaching me type advantages, and helping me get my first gym badge, but he was also destroying me with his Mewtwo and Raichu, RIP for Alligator. This Pokemon game is sentimental to me, so instead of playing Soul Silver being my own trainer, I'm going to walk in the footsteps of the man who once tormented me before. One day we'll match back up. I don't know what day that will be, but one day, before we go, we gotta run this back. Third on the list is Gen 3. I know that's kind of obvious, but stay with me here. Gen 3, I'm choosing Pokemon Emerald. Yes, we're throwing it all the way back to the Game Boy Advance days. And the best starting 3 we've ever seen for a Pokemon game, may I add. Funny story, at first I wasn't really interested in Pokemon Emerald because it was so much older than Pokemon Soul Silver. I think we found it in the middle of a moving day while we were cleaning. Well, I won't say we. He found it because I was never a Pokemon guy. I was really a huge Sonic and Mario type of kid. I remember having Mario Kart DS and Sonic Colors on the DS. I think that was what it was called. There was a bunch of those little sprites and they were all different colors. Or maybe it might have been Rush. No, it might have been both now that I think about it. Yeah, because I remember I'm getting off track here. When he was cleaning out his room, he found the entire set. And I'm talking Pokemon Sapphire, Ruby, and Emerald. He let me play Emerald, but he never really asked for it back, so I kept it. But sadly, I lost it, or he took it back without me knowing. He used to do that a lot of times with the game. He would just take them, and then I would think I lost it, but really he has it back, and he just didn't tell me because it's his freaking game. We were weird like that, but I never really took any offense to it until I got heavily addicted to Call of Duty, and him hiding controllers was not healthy. At least, I mean, it was kind of healthy. It taught me some boundaries and limits, but it wasn't healthy because I was an addict. You get me? I couldn't go outside because every time I went outside, I got in trouble. So I started staying in the house. Fourth on the list, we have Pokemon Platinum. You know, thinking about it, I'm noticing how much people fed this addiction to me when I was younger because I didn't even do anything but watch the show and receive gifts. I believe I received this Pokemon game from a friend who was just moving on to the Wii and was getting rid of some old stuff for his DS. Lucky for me, the friend he gave most of the stuff to didn't really like Pokemon. At that moment, I sure as hell did. I don't have much to say about this group's starters, other than the fact that I have them in the top 3. Before you ask, my top 3 in order are Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 1. Wait, before you go crazy in my comment section, please understand that Gen 5 White 1 was my last Pokemon game before I fell into the trap of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Also, I'm sorry, but Infernape being a Wukong-like Pokemon, Torterra reminding me of the giant lion turtle from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Empoleon being the most badass Emperor Penguin I've ever seen, I'm sorry, it was just so much better than Gen 1. For me personally, because that was my era, get me? That may have hold a lot of nostalgic value to you, it does not for me. Also, for being honest, Venusaur is heavily holding them back, but he's a GOAT to make the Pokemon playthrough easy mode, because I have played Fire Red and Leaf Green. You get me? I kind of understand a little bit. All right, moving on. Now here is when the memory gets fogged. Gen 5, the Black and White series. The only thing I can truly remember are those dumbass fire, grass, and water monkeys that seem to be absolutely useless after the first gen. Crocodile being a badass because he turned red, and being locked away from obtaining Conkeldurr because my brother had stopped playing Pokemon by that time and was focused more on graduating high school. I know, right? Selfish as hell. I also remember the legendary Zekrom, which means I believe I'm correct in saying that I played Pokemon White. I could be wrong. Zekrom might be the black Pokemon. I think that was the year it was like flip. The black Pokemon was on the white cover and the white Pokemon was on the black cover. I don't know. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Like I told you, memory gets foggy around this area. With that being said, for this marathon, I will be playing Black and Black 2 because I have heard that this pairing specifically is a tied together story, and I just want to completely nerd out, if I'm going to be honest. So I'll be indulging in both of those to get the full experience. This generation will be the only generation that gets that type of love, I think. All right. We're nearing the end, but stay locked in here with me. Gen 6, Pokemon X and Y is where I lose knowledge on everything. Be mindful when you watch me play, the only Pokemon I know from this game is, if I'm even pronouncing his name right, Yveltal. And that's only because I remember hearing some badass lore about him from TikTok. So when I got this information, it wasn't even that long ago. It was probably legit like 6 or 7 months ago when I was formulating this idea. Hearing this kind of solidified it, because I was like, a Pokemon that pretty much makes the world go extinct when it dies, and there's the counterpart to it that restores life in the X Pokemon. Yeah, anyway, I'm going with Pokemon Y because that one just sounds way cooler. Also, I've hated deer with a fiery passion ever since one jumped out on me at 1:27 in the morning when I was tired and on my way home from work. The only deer lover that's good in my hood is Shikamaru and the Nara clan. Moving on. Gen 7, Sun and Moon, as well as Ultra Sun and Moon. I really don't know what's going on with this one. By this time, I was involved heavily with the PSP, maybe the PS Vita, so I wasn't even looking back at going to my Pokemon ways. Now that I think about it, I think I was kind of bullied off of Pokemon as a kid too. Everyone thought it was childish. I was having fun with it, but I was getting tired of being made fun of, so I kind of just moved on. Now I'm back. Like, if I'm being honest, I should have never moved on in the first place. I love Pokemon with a passion. I wish I was here from the beginning and I never let those people control me as much as I let them. But we all make mistakes. However, I could use some help here. Do the stories line up for this game like it does for Black and Black 2? Or is this more so like a Fire Red and Leaf Green kind of deal where it's just red and green but remade on another graphical scale? So is it like the same story just enhanced, or is this a two-piece series? Because I'm having a hard time figuring that out. All right, so in order to do this correctly, the only way I can figure out which one I'm going to be playing is I'm going to spin a wheel. All right, we got our wheel spin. Let's get it. Sun or Moon? All right, looks like we'll be playing Pokemon Moon or Ultra Moon. Like I said, I still don't know if those stories tie into each other or if it's just an updated game with more content. Either way, moving on. Generation 8, one more after these, ladies and gentlemen. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm gonna keep this real short and sweet. I'm selecting Pokemon Sword for one reason and one reason only. The Pokemon that I seen for the cover art in Pokemon Shield looks goofy as hell. I'm sorry. That's really all it is. There's no game context or reasoning behind it other than that. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. Finally, we wrap it up here. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Two more games I have absolutely zero knowledge on. So, you know who I asked? Siri, yes. I asked the robot woman in my phone to flip a coin, and she did. She's the only woman in my life who ever listens. Anyway, with that being said, for the last Pokemon game of the Poké-Marathon, we have Pokemon Violet. You see it here, folks. This is the lineup for the Poké-Marathon. Will this be all the Pokemon games you see me play? Heavens no. I still want to play the classics as well as all the remakes like Gen 3's Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Not to mention I still have to beat Arceus. Not the biggest fan of it, but I'm adjusting. And then there's Z to A. But if I'm being honest, that's a bridge I'll cross when I'm ready to cross it. Still a bit hesitant. But hey, if Arceus gets better, I'll be a much happier gamer. You're probably wondering, DJ, when is this going to take place and where can I watch? To watch this live with me and anyone else who sees this, you can follow the Twitch link in the description below. As for the date, I plan to kick off maybe November 3rd, if not November 3rd, November 10th. Will this be the only thing I stream during the week? No. I usually do short streams after work as well, but I don't get off until like 12 a.m., sometimes 1 a.m. I'm gonna keep the marathon days exclusive to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, starting between 6 and 7 p.m. Eastern. All right, well, I've yapped your ears off enough. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you enjoy Pokemon content, comment below what your favorite Pokemon starter generation is, and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on everything going on in DJ's universe. I also have a Discord server if you want to join that down below. As always, y'all stay safe, stay blessed, and remember, God loves you, and so do I. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here.